What is David Zaslav supposed to do? Sure, you have Henry Cavill, or not Henry Cavill, you have The Rock, whose film is about to come out, and he's like, hey, I want to take over DC. That's my Rock impression. I'm not very good, sorry. But he wants to take over DC. There was an article that came out from the Wrap. The plan was to have this was Dwayne Johnson and his $7 production company's way of trying to strong arm their way into position that Zaslav was looking to fill. According from the report from the Wrap, the plan was to have Hiram Garcia be the face and head of DC, while $7 Production would be the production house behind him in the films. So what they were trying to do is The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, was trying to get his production company and those in charge of his production company to take over the DC Films division of Warner Brothers Discovery. The idea was Black Adam. They thought Black Adam was going to be phenomenal. They thought it was going to be fantastic. They thought it was going to be amazing, because that's what Dwayne Johnson thinks. Everything he does turns to gold. So he thought this was going to happen. He also heard the fan cry, Henry Cavill Superman, Henry Cavill Superman. He heard it at San Diego Comic-Con. He heard it here. He heard it there. So he worked with, Michael DeLuca, Paul Abdy at Warner Brothers, the producers over at Warner Brothers. He worked with them. They talked to Cavill, said, look, we want to get you in a cameo here and there. People really want this. Let's get you in some cameos. We'll get you first in Black Adam. We're going to get you in a cameo in The Flash with these upcoming movies because we want to use you more. The Rock wants to do more with DC. We think he's going to get a hold of DC. He's going to really run with this. Things are going to happen. If he gets this, we're going to go full steam ahead. Cavill says, all right. So he has a couple cameos left on his contract. He has a couple of appearances. He gets paid for these appearances, whatever it was. He does these appearances. He gets paid for them. These one-off appearances. Black Adam, he gets paid to do The Flash, and he does them. And that's fine. He gets paid for those. Because of this, there's this discussion with Dwayne Johnson, with Cavill. Now, Cavill and Johnson's management team are the same team. Henry Cavill was managed by Dwayne Johnson's ex-wife. And at the time, they were like, you need to announce that you're back. That's going to boost up ticket sales. It's going to boost excitement. People are going to want to come back. And that's going to push Warner Brothers to say, look, we got to keep pushing forward with this. It was all a ploy. They played Henry Cavill. The Rock, Danny Garcia, $7 Productions, whatever you want to call it, played Henry Cavill. So Cavill played along. He announced that he was back. This wasn't Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers didn't know that he was going to do this. He announced that he was back. He wasn't lying. He said he was back in Black Adam and that he had big plans, because they did have big plans. Cavill wasn't aware that David Zaslav wasn't going to hire The Rock and his team to continue forward. But that's what happened. The Rock played Henry Cavill. And that whole thing that happened was unfortunate. It shouldn't have happened that way. But The Rock was trying to muscle his way in. And it didn't play out like The Rock wanted. And because of that, here we sit. James Gunn gets hired. And look, I like the James Gunn, Peter Safran hire. You know what happened? They hired James Gunn and Peter Safran. Peter Safran, James Gunn, we're honored to be the stewards of these DC characters we've loved since we were children and look forward to collaborating with the most talented writers, directors, and actors in the world to create an integrated, multi-layered universe. Hell yeah. Why not? But do you see the DCEU from its conception in 2013 to this point? There was just so much backstabbing. There was so much of just multiple directions, multiple people trying to pull the universe in one way or another. It's unfortunate that Snyder got played back when he did. There's no excuse for that, what John Berg and Josh Whedon did to everybody back then. Kevin Tushihara, the head of Warner Brothers at the time, president of Warner Brothers at the time. The way they all handled everything back then, unacceptable. Then with Walter Hamada and how he handled things when he took over and handled DC properties under AT&T. I mean, he did the best he could, but he wanted to do his own thing, and rightfully so. He had the right to do that. He didn't need to hire Snyder. He didn't need to do anything. He wanted to do his own thing. It didn't work. It didn't work. David Zaslav came in, and he let it play out a little bit. And he wanted to see what The Rock was going to do, how Black Adam was going to do, what his plans were, and it didn't work either. So he decided, you know what? I like what these guys are saying. I like what they have lined up and what they want to do. I'm going to hire them. And unfortunately, because of that, this man here got caught in the crossfire. But everybody blames James Gunn that Henry Cavill got fired. Fired. He wasn't fired. And it's unacceptable to blame. Again, that toxicity that I said started when the fans were weaponized by Ray Fisher back in 2020. It built and built and built and built and built, and it is at an all-time high today. But every little thing that happens, instead of the fans turning around, sitting back and taking a look and saying, you know what? Let's look at this logically. Let's look at the real story. Let's look at what actually happened. Instead of doing that, they automatically see James Gunn head of DC, Henry Cavill no longer Superman. It's all James Gunn's fault. Well, no, the story is much bigger than that. It's unfortunate James Gunn is the one that had to announce that they were moving on from Henry Cavill. It should never have gotten to that point. Henry Cavill's team should not have encouraged him to announce that he was coming back when there was nothing truly lined up. But that's what happened. Things just get out of hand all the time with all of this. And there are fans that just can't accept that, you know what? There are certain people that are at fault. It's not James Gunn. It's not David Zaslav. It's these people over here, or it's these people over here. And sure, James Gunn isn't perfect. He's going to make mistakes. He's going to mess up. Look, I don't think it was the best move to keep the Peacemaker stuff included in the DCU.